The detective said my DNA was found at the crime scene, but I'd been locked in county jail that entire week. Detective Raymond Kowalski slid a manila folder across the metal table in the interrogation room at Pierce County Jail. He was maybe 55, with gray stubble and tired eyes that had seen too much. He'd introduced himself as having worked homicide for 19 years. He looked at me like I was already convicted. Your DNA was recovered from the victim's apartment, he said. Saliva on a cigarette butt found near the body, blood on the doorframe, and epithelial cells under her fingernails where she fought back. The lab confirmed it's a direct match to your profile in the system. I sat there in my orange jumpsuit, wrists still sore from the handcuffs I'd worn for the past 6 days, and laughed, not because anything was funny, but because the statement was so absurd my brain couldn't process it any other way. I'd been locked in a cell 60 feet from where we were sitting since last Monday morning. I hadn't left the facility except for a court appearance on Thursday, and that had been under armed guard through an underground tunnel. Detective Kowalski didn't appreciate my reaction. His expression hardened. Quote, 2. My name is Alex Brennan. I'm 32 years old. Until last Monday, I'd been working as a construction foreman for a commercial building company in Tacoma. I'd been arrested on Monday morning for a DUI I'd gotten 3 months earlier. I'd missed my court date because I'd gotten the date wrong on my calendar, so a judge issued a bench warrant for failure to appear. When I got pulled over for a broken taillight on my way to work, the cop ran my license and found the warrant. I'd spent the past 6 days in county lockup waiting for my rescheduled court appearance, which was supposed to be tomorrow morning. It was a misdemeanor DUI, my first offense, barely over the legal limit after having 3 beers at a coworker's birthday party. I'd expected a fine, maybe a suspended license, possibly an ignition interlock device. I hadn't expected to be sitting across from a homicide detective being told my DNA was found on a murdered woman. I told Detective Kowalski what I'd just been thinking. I've been in custody here since Monday morning. You have records. You have surveillance footage. You have intake paperwork with timestamps. I haven't left this building. There's no way my DNA could be at a crime scene because I've been locked in a cell. Detective Kowalski opened the folder and pulled out several photographs. Crime scene photos showing a small apartment living room, furniture overturned, blood spatter on the walls, a woman's body lying near the couch, her face swollen and bruised, a child's drawing on the refrigerator visible in the background. Michelle Strand was murdered on Wednesday night between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., he said. The medical examiner set the time of death based on body temperature and rigor mortis. Her daughter said the man who attacked her mother came in through the unlocked front door while they were watching TV. He wore jeans and a dark jacket. He had short brown hair. He looked like the photo we showed her, which was your driver's license photo. The DNA evidence confirms it was you. I felt my chest tighten. Wednesday night, I'd been in a holding cell with 5 other inmates. We played cards until lockdown at 10 p.m., then lights out. I'd barely slept because one of my cellmates snored like a chainsaw, and another guy kept getting up to use the toilet. I had witnesses. I had guards who'd done their rounds every hour. I had a jail facility with security cameras documenting my presence. But Detective Kowalski was sitting there telling me my DNA, my actual biological material, had been recovered from a crime scene where a woman was beaten to death. The impossibility of it made my hands shake. I asked him how. How could my DNA be at a crime scene when I was locked in jail? He said that's what he wanted me to explain. He said people had escaped from jails before. He said maybe I'd had help from a guard. He said maybe I was lying about being in custody, that maybe someone had falsified records. His theories were desperate, reaching for explanations that didn't make sense because the evidence didn't make sense. I asked for a lawyer. Detective Kowalski leaned back in his chair and said that was my right, but it would look better if I cooperated now, if I explained what happened. I repeated that I wanted a lawyer and that I had nothing to explain because I'd been in jail. He left the room. I sat there alone for 20 minutes, staring at the crime scene photos he'd left on the table, and what I saw made my stomach turn. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.